Hi everyone. In today's class, it is about fourth unit of artificial neural networks. So, under the fourth unit, the first topic is structure of multi-layer feed-forward network. This is the first topic of our fourth unit. What it is? It is a structure of multi-layer feed-forward network. Right. So what is a multi-layer feed forward network? Now we are going to discuss in today's class. First of all, what is a feed forwarded network and what is a multi-layer feed forwarded network? Which network has more than one layer? That particular network is called a multi-layer network. More than two layers in the sense, if you will observe this diagram has basically three layers. What are those? The first one is input layer, second one is hidden layer, third one is output layer, right? This network has three layers. Basically, what is the main definition of the multi-layer? Which network has more than two layers? That particular network is called a multi-layer feed-forwarded network. Or which network has multiple layers? You may say, like that also, right? This is about this particular network has three layers. What is the first layer? First one is a input layer. Input layer, the neurons of the input layer are represented by using x1, x2 and xn. Up to xn. These are the nodes or these are the neurons of the input layer. After that, hidden layer. Hidden layer nodes or neurons are represented by using y1, y2 up to yk. And the third one is output layer. Output layer is z1, z2, zm up to zm. What is input layer task? Input layer is used to generate the input, or which is used to fetch the input to the hidden layers. Input layer nodes are using to give the inputs or to fetch the inputs into a hidden layer. Hidden layers. So the hidden layers are going to process the task based on the given inputs. The hidden layers, these are going to perform going to do a particular task. After that, these are produce some kind of results, and those results are supplied to a output layer. These are supplied to a output layer. Here also some kind of tasks are performed in output layer. Finally, we'll get the final outcomes from these output layers. These are the tasks or jobs of these three layers. So one layer is connected with another layer by using these connections. By using these connections with some weights. Each and every link, each and every edge has some weight. If you'll observe this particular diagram, within this, the each and every link is represented with some particular weight. These are the W1, W2, W3 like this, and these are the V11, V12, V21, so like this, right? And these are the connections or links in between input layer to hidden layer to output layer, isn't it? With corresponding weights. corresponding results. You may say that corresponding results also, right? And why are we calling this network as feed forward network? Why do we call this network as feed forward network? If you will observe this network, each and every link, okay, each and every link is towards forward only, not towards backward, isn't it? The head of this each and every link or edge, okay, towards forward or towards right side only, isn't it? So that's why this particular network is called feed forwarded network. The every connection of this network, okay, towards that next layer only, towards the next layer, isn't it? So that's why we call this particular network as feed forward network, and it is a multi-layered network. And this total diagram is called a structure of multi-layer feed forwarded network. Okay, this total diagram is called the structure of a multi-layer feed forwarded network. This is one network diagram. This diagram has 3 layers, and each and every connection in between these layers towards, okay, the next layer itself or towards right side. Okay, that's why we call this particular structure uh, is called a multi-layer feed forward network. Clear? So this is a fourth unit first topic. What is the, why are we actually now, why are we studying about this concept? How are we going to represent a single layer feed forward network? What is the drawbacks in that feed forward single layer feed forward network? Okay, let us discuss now. Okay, if you observe this diagram is for a single layer feed forward network. This is a one kind of network. This network is a feed forward, which means already, okay, I have mentioned the connections in between these two layers towards, okay, forward right side. So that's why this particular network is called a feed forward network. So single layer, why are we calling this network as a single layer? Actually, this one is a input layer. Okay, as you know that this is a input layer and this is a output layer. In single layer network, we have only 2 layers. We have only 2 layers. One is input layer, second one is output layer. Okay, this network has 2 layers. Then why are we calling this particular network is a single layer network? Because these input nodes or input neurons are always used to fetch the input to the, okay, output layers itself. Okay, here we are not going to, okay, perform any kind of computations in this input layer, isn't it? Look, these input layers or this input layer nodes are used to fetch the input. Okay. And we are sending these input signals to a output layer. So the functions are going to perform in the output layer itself, not in input layer. So here we are not going to consider input layer. Only we are going to consider the output layer. Here we are neglecting the input layer. Why? Because at the input layer stage, here we are not going to any kind of calculations or any kind of computations at this input layer. Just these are used to give the inputs, supply the inputs to this network. That's it. So that's why here we are neglecting this input layer. Here we are considering only one layer, that is the output layer. That's why this particular network is called a single layer and feed forwarded network. single layer and feed forwarded network. Okay. So actually, what is the drawbacks of the single layer feed forwarded network in the sense? Okay, in earlier sections, we have discussed a complete unit about this single layer feed forwarded networks. Third unit, complete third unit, we have discussed about this single layer feed forward networks. This single layer feed forwarded network are used for binary classifications only. What is the first point? The first point about the first point about this single layer feed forwarded network, in a sense, it would perform binary, okay, classification. Binary classification only. What is the binary classification here? So binary classification in the sense, just it is used for here the single layer feed forwarded network is used to get two kinds of outcomes only. Okay, the two kinds of outcome in the sense, just one outcome may be represented using plus one. One is represented with plus one, and second outcome is represented with by using minus one. Okay, the output is separated, or there are two kinds of outcomes only we will get. One is represented with plus one or minus one. Okay, so that's why this particular single layer network is used to classify the total data points. How many number of data points you have in your data? Okay, that is okay. Okay, that the total data can be divided into two class labels, two categories only. One category can be represented by using plus one, second category is used to represented by using minus one, isn't it? So how we are going to separate this particular data points into two classes? Okay, for that here we are having here we are having one kind of theorem. What is that? Here I have one kind of data items, and these are here the second kind of data items. Okay, this is the total data set which I have. So how are we going to separate this data? Okay, how we are going to classify this particular data in the sense, okay, by drawing a linear line in between these two data points. Okay, by drawing a hyperline within a 2D space, by drawing a hyperline within a 2D space, then we are going to classify the data points, or here we are going to divide these total data points in two groups. This is group one, this is group two. One group is represented by using plus one, and second group is represented by using minus one, isn't it? Okay, these are the total number of data points whichever you have in your data set. Okay, the data set has only two kinds of patterns. So by drawing a hyperline in between these two patterns, we have separated these data points. So one is represented as plus one, second one is minus one. This kind of classification is called binary classification. Okay, whichever data we have, we can separate that particular data by drawing a single hyperline. Then, okay, That kind of classification is called a binary classification. Suppose here if you have some data points and one more data points you have with you. Okay, these are the some more data points you have in your two-dimensional space of graph, right? How you are going to separate these data points? By drawing a simple hyperline. That may be, assume this is the simple hyperline between these two kinds of data. By drawing a single hyperline, you can divide these total data points into two groups. Then that particular this particular thing is called a single layer feed forward network concept. Okay, but the real time, the practical problem is, okay, all the data sets have only two patterns. Okay, in real world, if you observe the data sets may have multiple data points instead of yes or no. Instead of only two patterns, if you will go for a marital status, how many kinds of outcomes may come for marital status? One is married, second one is single, third one is widowed, and fourth one is if you want to take divorced, you can take divorced also. So four kind of outcomes would come for marital status. Okay, but if it is a result means you may say yes or no, pass or fail for something, whether this particular person is eligible for writing this test or not, yes or no, based on the some features on that particular person. Here we are going to say this particular person is what allowed to write a exam, yes or no. This kind of data are there in real time, yes or no kind of data or pass fail. If it is a gender kind of attribute means male or female. Okay, if it is about a what body temperature, about a body temperature, in the sense if it is a body temperature attribute, then you may say warm blooded or cold blooded. So like that, here in real world we have many data sets with only two outcomes, like yes or no, pass or fail, male or female. But many data sets in real world, okay, many data under the some attribute would give more than, okay, two class labels, more than two class labels. For that only, for example, if you take a marital status, in the sense marital status may have married, single, or if you will take the marital status in the sense, it may be single, that particular, it may be married, or it may be divorced. Here, three kinds of outcomes is there under the attribute of marital status. How you are going to classify these kinds of data in neural network? Okay, how are you going to classify this kind of attributes data by using neural network? For this purpose only, here we are having multi-layer feed-forwarded network, right? For this kind of data, the single-layer feed-forwarded networks are not going to support. If your attribute has more than two outcomes, if your data set has only two outcomes means, okay, like this or like this, then you can apply directly the single layer feed forward network in ANN. Okay, but if our attribute has more than two outcomes, then what is the solution for this? For this, here we are having a solution of multi-layer feed-forwarded network. To solve these problems, here we are going to approach the multi-layer feed-forwarded network. What we are going to do within that multi-layer feed-forwarded network, in the sense, here we are going to draw double hyperlines, not a single hyperlines. You may take double hyperlines. Till now, in single layer feed forwarded network, we have discussed only single layer feed forward network. Okay, but if it is single layer, which means single hyperline. Okay, but if you're coming into the multi-layer feed forwarded network, here you are going to draw, here you are going to take two hyperlines to separate the data points. Okay, this is one and this is one, and finally this is one. Okay, by drawing two hyperlines within a 2D data space to separate the data points, then that particular, then this kind of particular network is called multi-layer feed-forward network. Within this, we are going to use two hyperlines instead of one hyperlines. This kind of network is called a multi-layer ML, multi-layer feed forward FF, feed forward neural network, NN, ML, FF, NN. Okay, this concept is follows the multi-layer feed forwarded neural network. It is going to draw two hyperlines to separate the data points, of your 2D space. Clear? This is the difference between single layer feed forwarded network and multi-layer feed forward network. And what are the design issues of multi-layer feed forwarded network? Here we are having 4 design issues. The first one is design issue of a feed forward. If you want to design a multi-layer feed forwarded network, what you are going to consider, what kind of things you need to design or to develop multi-layer feed forwarded networks. For that, the first one is determine the number of input nodes. What is the first one here we have? We are going to determine the number of inputs. Okay, how many number of inputs are there in your particular network? How many number of input nodes are there in your network? You need to tell 2 or 3. X equal to, here the input layers are represented by using x1, x2, x3 up to xm, isn't it? So what is the n equal to? It's 2 or 3 or 4, like that. x1, x2, x3, if 3. X1, X2, X3, X4, if it is a 4, isn't it? So like that, first of all, you should determine the number of input nodes. If you want to design a multi-layer feed-forwarded network, then first of all, you should determine the number of input nodes. What is the second point? Second point is determine the number of output nodes. How many number of inputs are there? How many number of outputs are there? Should determine first of all. Third one, the network topology. Network topology in the sense, the connections in between input layer and output layers, or in between the 3 layers, each and every connection should have the weight or not. Okay, so which kind of network topology you are following? Network topologies in the sense in CN you have learned many kind of network topologies. Star topology, mesh topology, bus topology, ring topology, right? Like this here also you are going to say about the topology of the network and with weights or without weights. You should determine this point also. And last one is discard or remove missing values. Okay, which means suppose for some edges there is no weights. What we have to do? You can replace that particular edge with some other but most likely approximate values. Okay, you can write some wedge value by using some approximate value, or you may discard that particular, you may remove that particular edge between that particular two nodes. Okay, these are the 4 design issues of a multi-layer feed-forwarded network, right? And coming to next slide, here we are going to see the characteristics of multi-layer feed-forwarded networks. So what is the first character? This feed-forwarded network should have at least one hidden layer. Okay, this multi-layer, it's a combination of input layer, hidden layer, and output layer, isn't it? But in hidden layer, okay, that particular node or one or n number of nodes, maybe you can be represented by using single node or multiple number of nodes at the place of hidden layer, isn't it? But in practical way, the hidden layer must have at least single node. Okay, so that single, if your hidden layer has only one single node, then it is called universal approximator. But it is called universal approximator. First, what is the first point? Your feed-forwarded network should have at least one hidden layer node. If there is one, in second point, if there is one hidden layer, then hidden layers are more than, not node, hidden layers are more than a multi-layer in the sense not only 3 layers. Okay, you may have 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. Okay, so within that, if it is a multi-layer network, at least you should have one hidden layer, isn't it? 2 hidden layers, 3 hidden layers, 4 hidden layers also you can be established into this multi-layer neural network, right? If there is only one hidden layer, then we call it as universal approximator. Till now we have seen only one hidden layer, isn't it? The first diagram, whichever we have discussed in this class, the diagram also has only one hidden layer, not more than one hidden layer, isn't it? So that kind of network is called a universal approximator. What is the meaning of universal approximator in the sense? Okay, it is going to approximate the target function. Okay, so which kind of value we are going to expect, which kind of value we are going to expect from that particular network, it is going to try to give, okay, that particular expected outcome only. Okay, so universal approximator means it can approximate any of the target function, it gets. Approximate values, it would represent a approximate values from that particular network. It would produce the approximate value of a target function or a desired response. or expected outcome. You may say any one of these three, right? That is the one of the characteristics of the network. And coming to the third one, it is sensitive to noise, which means if any kind of noise would occur in this network means, so the result will be affected. Okay, the result will be affected. It is very sensitive network. And the fourth one is we can have many number of recurrent networks in this. Okay, it is a feed forwarded network now. Sometimes if we want to call back, this particular network is represented to back. Okay, which means if you will get a error function, if you will get an error through this particular network, then the error value should be written to the network, isn't it? So that kind of returning is called a recurrent network, or sometimes you may give some feedback networks also considered in this. And next one, always here we are going to update the weights. Here we are going to update the weights in this network also. Okay, update the given weights based on the situation. When are we going to update these weights? If we'll get a error function, then to avoid or to overcome that error function, we are going to change the values of a weights of a network. Okay, so that is the next point. And the final okay, it is a last point is it is a time consuming process. It is a time consuming network, or it would take more time to process the things. Okay, these are the some of the characteristics of multi-layer feed forwarded networks. Thank you.